Welcome back to Those Other Guys. Thank you guys for joining us today. I have Clark here, and then a special guest. We call him G because we don't know how to say his name.
Go ahead.
Goussou Cisse. Yep.
That's so dope. That's so dope. So I personally wanted to have G on, one, to catch up with him. I haven't seen him in a while. But two, I think he has a very unique story in what he's gone through because of where you're from.
Right.
And I just think it's an important story lately there to see from a different perspective where we all come from in life and how we're all here now and what we've had to deal with, especially after learning Hussam's dad's story.
Yeah.
Right. That's kind of, I've become fascinated with like people's like story now, essentially, on like, holy shit, how are you here? Right. And I know, because we actually worked together. We were personal trainers together, and that's how we met. And the little bit of talking we did then was always so fascinating to me. So where are you initially from? Like, where were you born?
So I was, I'm actually from West Africa, Ivory Coast. I was born in a village called Bouaké. So originally that's where I'm from.
That's dope that you were born like in the motherland, like where, because I believe in evolution. Right, so I believe that most, if not all, humans come from
Africa.
So to me, Africa's always been
there's kind of some hard evidence now.
Right, yeah,
so
yeah,
it's like
exactly.
you kind of have to accept the fact that that is motherland.
But yeah, and I mean, we've talked obviously a lot about a lot of this stuff, and you know, I see the videos you share online and stuff about back home, and it's always just so crazy to me, the contrast now of like my upbringing and how lucky I am now considering what I know. Right, which is awesome, because that's the best part about you, is you've always had this fucking golden smile whenever I see you. You're always happy, and I have to imagine it's because you've been through so much.
Exactly.
So like, I remember one time you telling me a story of literally you on your way out.
Pull the mic a little closer. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. So like, it wasn't like a crazy road on the way out?
Yeah, that was actually a really interesting story. So I was leaving a couple of months into the war, so it wasn't like a big thing.
And what war was it? Was it like a civil war?
Yep. It was exactly a civil war mixed like religion, politics, and all that other stuff. Like life was normal, at least, well, not like this normal, but we had a normal life, and like just like how COVID came, it kind of reminded me of that, like how we stayed home, we couldn't go out. It felt kind of like that in a way, right? But not as like scary or whatnot. But
wait, COVID wasn't as scary, or the war wasn't? No, as scary?
COVID.
Okay, yeah. I was gonna say that.
COVID wasn't as scary. Like it's not like I was hearing like gunshots or anything. I mean, I know people were dying, but I wasn't afraid. You know what I mean? I didn't think COVID was gonna take me out.
Right. Especially with what you've been through.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't really, and like, it's funny, hydro, whatever that they call it, like, I've had that shot in me back home before because I've had malaria.
Oh, hydroxychloroquine.
Something like that. Yeah. I've had malaria a couple of times. I've had that shot in me. So when I seen it on TV, I was like, whoa. I might have the cure in me. So.
Right. That's crazy. Yeah. Because that's just a regular day thing there. Which is
malaria is very prominent over there.
Yeah. So
which is just carried by mosquitoes, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think that's the main way it gets, like, people get it.
That's crazy.
It's a mosquito
the main
bite.
way that I'm pretty sure that's how I got it.
Yeah.
I did get beat up. So
when how old were you when you moved here?
I was 7 years old.
Okay.
I was 7 years old.
So you remember stuff back then?
I remember a lot. I don't know why, but I just remember a lot. Like kind of like what he asked. I just remember one day, one night, we were asleep in the living room, and my brother just waking me up like it's time to go. You know what I mean? And I knew that I was leaving eventually, but like a lot of people didn't know. And it was probably like 3, 4 in the morning. And we walked like 2 miles, and there was like a car, got in the car, drove on this road. We couldn't really take like the main roads because it was like rebels and the roads were blocked and stuff like that. So it's almost like that had it all planned out. You know what I mean? Like the roads that we took, the way we got to the city, and it was.
No, he's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the way we got to the city was ridiculous, and that was like my first time ever in the city.
Oh no,
I
shit.
came from, and I went from the village. Everything just happened from that to the United States of America. Like my life just like completely changed.
Dang.
You know what I mean? Like the people I grew up with, the friends that I had, the stuff that I knew, playing soccer every day. It's just completely all changed. You know what I mean? Like I went from like, and I say this all the time. I went from shitting in a hole to like sitting on the toilet seat. Like, and I didn't even know like how to like work that. Like,
Wow.
You know, that's how life changed.
Right.
That was it. You know what I mean?
That's crazy.
That is so insane.
So with Middle Eastern people, like my uncles and stuff, like had to like leave one country, go to another country, then to get to the States. For you, it was from there you went straight to the States.
Went straight to the city. Well, we stayed in the city a little bit.
Okay.
And for like 2 months or whatnot, and then made our way over here. But yeah.
What city was it?
Abidjan. Okay. And that's where like everything was actually going on too. You know
like,
what I mean?
Wow.
Because the rebels were trying to overthrow the government. And it's funny because we were actually going towards where like we were supposed to be. You know what I mean? So it was like our people was back where we were from. You know what I mean? Like even though it was like a war going on, they were really just mainly killing like the police and people who were against the rebels and stuff like that. But it was still scary because that's when I see my first dead body.
Like in the city or back in the village?
In the village.
Okay.
It all started in the village.
Oh,
yeah.
really?
It all started in the village, and like I said, for you to even get from the village to the city, it was like a miracle. Like you had to really like go through like woods, and it was like.
How did you get there?
To be honest, like there were dead bodies on the road. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like that, and I swear to God, I remember it. I was young. And like I don't want to get too like emotional, but like,
Right.
So like we were driving, and you could like actually feel like the roads. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
right.
Like you can actually feel the roads, and it was. It still affects me to this day.
Oh, I can't imagine.
You know what I
dude.
mean? It still affects me to this day. But yeah, it's tough.
That's
It's
crazy.
Tough. Yeah.
Yeah, and obviously talk about what you're comfortable with.
It's
But
tough. It's tough.
I can't even imagine, bro. And now that city was in Ivory Coast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So flew out from there, and then where did you go to when you came to the States initially?
Once we actually came to New York. Hold on, I need a moment, dog.
Yeah.
You're good.
Yeah, shit.
I'm sorry, dude.
No, you good. I'm trying to get more comfortable with it anyway, you know what I mean? Like, even like when you ask, I have to like sit down and think about it. But I'm trying to get more comfortable with like, being able to tell more and more about it and stuff like that.
And we'll obviously, cut or show whatever.
Yeah. It's whatever. It's whatever.
Okay.
It is what it is, you know what I mean?
And I don't mean to bombard you like this, because
cool.
we've been meaning to catch up and stuff. I know,
I'm
but
always feel some type of way about it, especially
yeah.
when I'm thinking about it and I'm telling it. You know what I mean? Because I was scared. That's really where that comes from.
That's why you still remember it.
Yeah,
because of
the
all that fear.
that I had. You know, I could never forget. I'll never forget that fear that I had in my heart. Like not knowing if I didn't even know if I was gonna make it here. You know what I mean? Like just not knowing all of that and it's just like whoa.
That's shit that
that's why it sticks with him forever.
Yeah, and like something that I'll never be able to even connect to.
Yeah, it's wild. But so that's why, you see me smiling and
dude.
I'm a certain way and this and that.
You're one of the most genuinely happy people I've ever met.
I feel like I have to be bad.
Right.
But yeah.
So tell us about New York.
So I only really stayed in New York for like a month.
Oh, okay.
I didn't really stay in New York it was basically another transition to coming to Detroit. My mom was here, so I stayed with like some people there. It's like back home, getting your paperwork together, it's a lot of like false and fraud that goes on to it. So I was technically supposed to be living in New York. I was coming there. I wasn't coming here. So that's how I ended up there for a little bit to everything, like, I guess the paperwork, I like real settled and stuff like that. And then I came here.
Then you came here.
Yeah. So
you had family here?
My mom was here.
Oh, your mom was here.
Yeah,
okay.
so that was actually my first time ever seeing my mom.
Wow.
So when I came here, it was the first time I've ever seen my mom. You know what I mean? Like, that was interesting too.
Dude, this is crazy, bro.
First time I've ever seen her, because she left when I was like 1 year old or turning 1. She had been trying to get her papers and stuff like that ready. So, unfortunately, like it was granted when I was like young, and it was just, you know what I mean, like she had a plan, you know, and she brought us to here. Luckily, right before like the war got like real intense, you know what I mean? So she had a plan, and I'm thankful for it, you know, because
that was the plan the whole time.
That was the plan the whole time
Wow.
to bring us all here, you know. And she came here not knowing anybody,
Right?
You know what I mean? Like, so she had to like thug it out too, like get to know people and this and that. So it's just, yeah.
Did you speak English when you first got here?
No, I didn't speak no English.
Is it French?
Yes, I spoke French in July when I got here.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Did you know any Arabic?
No, just like the Muslim stuff, you know.
Right.
Just praying and stuff like that. That's about it. But like as far as talking to people,
Yeah, because is Ivory Coast French influenced?
yeah, it's French influence.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because it's like Costa d'Ivory, really,
yep,
right?
Yep, the Ivory Coast. Yep.
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 Yeah, that's right.
I actually know somebody else from the Ivory Coast. Funny enough, yeah, his name's Ali. Yeah, I knew him from back in the gym days and Powerhouse Dearborn days, and he spoke Arabic, learning it on the street. He lived there a little bit longer though, but when he came, he got around to knowing English because he knew Arabic. So that's why I asked that, because that would have helped you coming to Detroit.
Right.
You know,
no, that was that. Yeah, I had to learn English from like not knowing anything. Going to school and just sitting there. That was
That's
that
crazy.
was so sad.
So yeah, you were obviously the only French speaking.
Yeah,
kid.
you know, in a school where I couldn't speak to anybody.
Yeah,
It's weird.
right.
Everybody's talking to me in English. It's just, you know, like, just imagine. That was so.
I can't imagine,
like,
bro.
God.
None of your story
No,
can I
yeah.
relate
I
to.
can't relate
bro.
to anything.
Yeah, it's so humbling anytime I fucking
I
talk
just
to
felt
you.
lost in the world for like the longest of my life. You know what I mean? Like, that's literally how I could put it. But I just didn't. I feel like I was cursed a little bit for the longest.
Damn.
I'm not. So much was happening. You know what I mean? Like, so much transition. Now I'm like having to learn a whole new language, and like, whoa, like I miss my friends. Like, I want a normal life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then being accepted here, like that's another story within itself.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Did you play soccer?
yeah, I started playing soccer in high school.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Yeah.
You grew up in Detroit?
Yeah, I grew up mostly in Detroit. Yeah.
Where'd you go to school?
Well, I went to school in Southfield.
Oh.
Yeah, I went to Vandenberg.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I went to Vandenberg. Again, there was nobody there speaking French. There were some Arabic kids there.
Yeah, yeah.
But we didn't, you know. what I
Yeah,
mean?
you didn't
Like,
even know.
So
Well, you're just a kid.
same thing.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Dude, it's so insane. Like, and again, I'm sorry in the sense that, like, I didn't want to bombard you with this
No,
questioning,
you're
you know,
good.
but like we've been talking about catching up like this for
Yeah,
a while.
absolutely, for a long time.
Because you know, again, I was always fascinated with this shit you told me at work and at the gym, but man, this is something I could have never even pictured nor imagined. But
No, and I'm sure it's a lot more detailed too.
Yeah,
And
of
but
course.
obviously we want to keep
Yeah.
it like as comfortable as you are. But I think it's a good thing for people to listen to, because I mean, like I talk about it too. Like I don't want to say I make fun of people, but I kind of look at people in a way of like, you have first world problems. Like you don't have real problems.
Yeah.
Right.
Like you are watching a motivational video on $1,000 iPhone right now. You're listening to a podcast on $1,000 iPhone. That's what you're doing.
Legit.
Yet you have the audacity to complain about stuff every day. When people come from situations like you, and look at the states. How many people in the states come from different countries?
right, that's the beautiful part about America, right?
Yeah.
At least what we
That was the
sell
whole
it as.
American dream thing of why people would move here from other countries, but they had to look at his story of how he had to come here, what he had to deal with, and I think it's a good thing to talk about it, you know, in a way we are now, just to give people that wake up call of you don't have real problems.
Right. This is, and see, we've known each other now since
Couple of years.
Yeah, since like 17 probably. I think that's when
Yeah,
we started working
18,
there.
17,
Yeah, and so I've known this type of stuff now for 5 years, right? In those 5 years, knowing stuff like this, knowing stories like this, is like what has shaped my new opinions, right? Growing up, I had these
Yeah.
opinions or these stances on things, and like one being immigration, right? And now I hear stuff like that. Could you imagine if immigration was harder and I didn't get to meet this gentleman, right? My life has been shaped by our friendship.
true.
You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
you're one of the most generous guys I know too. During Ramadan, you normally have like money that you're trying to donate back home. That's always an awesome thing. And
try to,
yeah, of course. And you know, it shows me, and knowing stories like this again is why I try to do some of these things now, live my life this way. So you've always been inspirational to me in that sense, right? So I couldn't wait to sit down and talk about this, because we talk about crazy shit all the time.
Yeah.
We talk about crazy shit all the time, expanding the mind, and
Absolutely.
you know, you are American now in that sense.
Yep.
You talking about you ask me questions and thank you is the answer I get, and I'm always like, what the fuck are you thinking? You know, but like, it's just who you are. And
I just
like,
be wanting to know stuff.
yeah,
you know
of course.
I mean? So,
And I see that now because you've had to have that your whole life to be here,
yeah,
right?
Exactly.
You had to have,
Exactly.
or else
This
it would have
is
been
who I
so
am.
easy to give up, like in the sense of
Exactly.
you felt
This
lost.
is really what it was.
I don't know if I could have done that.
No.
So I had to shape my whole thinking. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, especially when I first got here, it was just like everything just went like kind of like blank. You know, like I remember my first day when I got here, and my mom put me in the bathroom. I didn't even know hot water. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I had to learn all of that, like right there and there. You know, man, I have a friend who told me he had the same type of experience. He turned on the hot water, and he couldn't figure out how to like
Turn it off,
turn
or get
it
the
off,
cold.
or anything. So he literally said he was in there showering like that because he didn't know how to like. And then he got out. It was like, man, why is the water so high here? You know what I mean? Like, that's literally some of our experience. You know what I mean? Like, to that level, we don't know.
Man.
You know?
That's so fucking crazy.
You know, you went
dude.
from like a little water coming from the ground to having options. You know,
Right, options of
like
water.
That,
Yeah.
it's just like that. Like, whoa, like what do I do with all of this? Like, you turn one on, you get water. Like, that's it. You know, and that's where he stopped.
Right. Jeez.
So I have like a thought that pops into my head is, I know like Middle Eastern people who have similar
Right.
stories, but what do you think is the biggest driver as to why he keeps his mentality like that? Yet I know people who have gone through that and have that complete switch of mentality where they aren't grateful for everything. They aren't positive. They aren't all these things. And I don't know if it's they just don't reflect. Like, he probably reflects, and he does things, because to me, I mean, to any of all three of us, he obviously does it. I think if I went through something like that, we would be grateful every day.
Right.
And I know people who aren't yet have gone through all of that. And I wonder why that is.
Well, I mean, you talk to me every day in the hospital. Every day you told me you were praying for me, and I was thankful after my situation, right? And he was a big driver of that, in the sense I talked to you every day. And just like you know what I'm saying? There were people that I knew I could count on talking to every day. And to see what he went through, right? And he's telling me like this, that, and the other. I'm like, bro, you have no idea. Like, it helped me talking to you because I knew a little bit of his story, right? So I don't know what that switch is, but I do think it is because he is open-minded.
I think it's because he's very open-minded.
Yeah.
And I think it's your thirst for knowledge that is why.
Yeah, of course.
Because he's always trying to learn. He's always asking questions. He's always trying to get better at something.
Especially in fitness.
Yeah.
And when did the love for fitness come about?
Man, the love for fitness goes back home too.
Oh, yeah?
You know, I actually see my first pair of weights here in the United States. But like, I have two uncles who were just strong and like had a lot of respect in our village. You know, they were like if you mess with somebody in our family and like they heard, that person would be afraid. Like, but they always worked out. You know, they fabricated weights with like cement and wood. And it was just, they looked good. You know,
Right.
They played soccer. They were strong. People respected them. And I admired that at a young age. And what's funny about that, one of them, we kind of have like the similar build. He's just like an amazing person. So like when the war actually started, when the rebels came through our village, the way they introduced themselves, it was like probably like 20 of them, like in a truck. You know, they just started like shooting all over and stuff like that. So everybody ran away and whatnot. We all went in our homes and whatnot. Like 20, 30 minutes later, Musa, he's like, I gotta figure out like what's going on. Like, we can't just be sitting here. And it made sense. Well, it didn't make sense, but it makes sense to me now. Right. You know what I mean? Like, we can't just sit here and not know, like, they're still shooting. He went out there and I guess, like, talked to, like, one of them, But just who he is as a person and what we represented, the stuff that he did every day, like, he went to school. He worked out. Like, this is stuff that he did every single day. He was respected. He had heart. And when it comes down to, like, the family, just depending on anybody, you could depend on Musa to just get anything done, And I kind of, like, lived a similar life here, you know what I mean, for my family that's here at least, So I admire her, and that's where that working out really, really.
I was about to say, a lot of makes sense. You had a very strong role model that you wanted to aspire by.
And he worked out all the time.
That's fucking dope.
Like, he had wood, cement, rocks,
Right.
He was like,
he made it work.
He made it work, car parts. Like, nobody else did that. But you know what I mean? But them too. But Musa took lead in that. Like, it was this thing, and like I always said, I'm gonna build him a gym one day. And if I have the money, if he's still alive, inshallah, I'm gonna build him a gym.
Right.
But yeah, stuff like that. That's really where that comes from. And knowing more, and like, there's people in my village who don't know how to properly eat. You know what I mean? Like, just the way they eat,
like diet-wise.
Yeah, diet-wise. You know what I mean? So it's important for me to learn that. You know what I mean? Like, because that's why I do technology as well, because I will advance my village a little bit. You know what I mean? Fitness, technology, or whatever, I will do that. That's why it's important for me to be a product of that, because it's what I stand.
That's crazy.
That's amazing.
We've had this discussion in the sense of, like, how blessed do you have to be to consider yourself, like, unlucky? Living here, right? Like, you have to be so wildly, for the lack of a better term, privileged, but you have to have such a privilege to even think that life is bad here.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I don't have a role model like that. I never saw anybody talk to the rebels in the village, right? But, like, that's that fight or flight too. Some people would crumble and not know what to do.
Exactly.
But, like,
that's like it's a cringy thing to say, but like that he's a very alpha role model.
Yeah, he is.
Yes.
He is.
And that's a very good thing.
He is.
Exactly. It's a very important thing, I think. I really do.
Yeah.
I think,
and it shaped you. Because of that.
Yeah. And he recently, like, during COVID, my auntie passed away. My auntie went to, because the whole, like, country was shut down, obviously, right? And my auntie passed away in a country called Burkina Faso, which is like a border away from us, right? And she passed, she was there, and they wouldn't let her body come through. You know what I mean? Musa spent some time on Burkina, got up and left and went there and brought her body back.
Wow.
Damn.
Like, legit.
like, again, just getting it done.
Just did it again. You know what I mean? Like, the heart that he has, and I seen it in the war.
Yeah, right. That's fucking.
You know what I mean? It's
that's
amazing.
real inspiration.
It's amazing.
That's real.
He still lives there?
He still lives there.
Yeah. How are things there now?
It's better. The war has died down for like the last 10 years, but
but they're still like fighting everywhere.
There's still a little bit of fighting.
Is it more like guerrilla warfare, like that kind of?
What do you mean?
Like, is it more like just random groups that?
Yeah, exactly.
fight?
Just random stuff, and people are
like gang
afraid.
fighting.
Yeah, exactly. People are afraid that something might spark up, but I hope not. You know what I mean? There's still political stuff, which is what really, really caused the first one. So it's still in the air. So
yeah. Have you been back?
Last time I was back was probably like 17, 18, like right before I met Clark. I'm supposed to be going back this year, but I already got everything booked, but I might not, because I have a modeling gig that could be coming up for like HBO though. So it's a huge opportunity.
Oh,
man.
damn.
I'm telling you, like your profile lately, and I hate that that's how I've only seen you lately.
Right.
But like the profile lately, bro, it looks like you're just living, bro. You're doing it big right now, and I love that shit, bro. Especially hearing all this, but like. You're doing modeling gigs now downtown all the time, right?
It's
going to dope ass dinners. I see you in
Yeah.
black tie event type shit.
Beautiful. I'm so so grateful.
Yeah, but you worked for it, G.
I did.
You worked for it. You know what I'm saying? You're not a model.
I'm still lucky.
You're not a model because you're sitting around. You're a model because your fucking build is incredible. And you didn't just stumble upon that.
Nah,
you know?
I tried.
Yeah, you ask questions. He still I don't know why he DMs me. I just need to be DMing you. Be like, the fuck do I need to do?
He actually recommended me a few books. I read them all.
Yeah, bro. I mean, that's what it's about. I gave them
to people too after I read them. This was funny. I was just like, yeah, you gotta read this. You gotta read this. You gotta read this. Yeah.
That's what's up. Do you have any inspirations like first world inspirations in the sense of like working out now? Like any bodybuilders you follow that you like?
I'm not really sure. I'm fascinated with a lot of people.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I know we always share Ruff and like
you know what I mean?
I think Logan is our favorite.
Yeah.
All three of us.
He's amazing. It's a lot of bodybuilders that's amazing.
Yeah, Logan Franklin, you've been sending me lately.
I like Keon as well. I still think he has a lot of work to do, but
shit.
You know, it's just a lot of bodybuilders out there, and I just love the discipline. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Y'all, like it's just I don't know what it is, but it's just bodybuilding, working out, the discipline, the eating, the everything is like that's what life is about.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I just see life that way. You know, like you could really take that discipline. But that's why I love bodybuilding. It's not just like one person. It's just a
collective
mindset.
It's the mindset that's behind. Most people cannot do that. You know, like how dedicated you guys are. Like when I first seen Clark in the gym, I was like, whoa. Like that man is on.
I remember you came up to me and you were asking me, and you were asking me in a way that like I knew you knew stuff, right? It wasn't like, hey, bro, how'd you get big?
Yeah.
You know, you were asking like, yo, what's your diet like? Right. And like when I hear that, I'm like, okay, I can actually have a conversation with somebody like that. But you were already a personal trainer then,
I
too.
I was already certified, but you know, I was just getting in the game and learning more. Like I said, it's important for me because.
Well, you were the only one that I recommended clients to, other than But I mean, it wasn't even because we jived. It was because you actually knew what you were doing, and exactly, and learning and trying. Nobody else really does that. There's like a very big problem with some personal trainers that just they get that cert, and then they think that makes them the authority on fitness, and they think that they can start the cert that you can take a multiple choice.
Take over the weekend.
I passed it. Okay, I passed it.
So much to it, man.
So yeah, but it's funny that like, or it's not funny. It's dope in the sense that I see now. Everything makes sense, right? It's starting to unfold. Like, okay, this is why G is here.
Yeah,
this is why
he's like
this is why G is the way he is, and this is why you have what you have, and you've earned that shit, and it's fucking dope.
What got you into modeling?
It just kind of happened.
Yeah.
To be honest, I just feel
it's just clothing, right?
Well, it's just a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
You know,
because I see a lot of clothing pictures. Yeah.
I just whatever
whatever they want,
whatever is the money. You know, I'm really just hustling.
Yeah.
You know, I don't really consider myself a model. Sometimes I forget. A lot of times I forget. You know, but.
Has that taken you anywhere, modeling?
It's made me some money.
Right.
I really do it for the money. I'm not gonna lie. I don't do it for the love of it.
No,
I
that's
do it for the money. So go out there. You're gonna pay me $300, $400, $500 to take some photos for a couple of hours. Sign me up.
Bet.
You know.
Man,
have you done some runway stuff though?
I have, but I stopped doing that because the photo shoots pay more than the runway. Believe it or not. At least the runways that's out here. I was scheduled to go to Paris Fashion Week, but I couldn't make it because of my passport. Passport had expired like the same week, and I didn't really know. So,
damn, that would have been so
sick. Amazing.
It would have been dope too because you speak French.
Speak French.
You'd have fit right in.
It's just it was God. You know what I mean? I looked at, I sat down, and thought about it. Like it'll happen one day. If not, maybe next year. You know what I mean? Like that's whatever. Right?
That's dope too. Any plans furthering that? I know you say you do it for the money, but is there anything like
if it happens?
Right.
If it happens. Right now I'm really pushing for like this tech stuff, you know, because I need that to like fund the fitness stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'm really pushing for the tech stuff at least for the next year or so. But yeah, modeling, I'm not really if it happens, it happens, you know.
What a dope thing to if it happens, it happens.
Yeah, it happens, it happens.
Has it you were at like a dinner like a couple months ago, weeks ago, something like that. Has modeling led you to meet some dope people though?
It's met I met Kwame. I met a lot.
That's right. Kwame was there. Yeah,
I met a lot of powerful people in Detroit. You know, like people who are doing something.
White Boy Rick.
Yeah, it's just so many people I've met. It's ridiculous. You know, like
just a dude from the village.
Blessed. Yeah, you know what I mean. That's what I always say. You know, it's just like this. This is what I think about a lot. All right, like even this morning, like a lot. Like out of all those people I grew up with, I knew in the village, God picked me like to the United States of America.
Right.
Why me? You know what I mean?
Oh, there's another thing though, right? Why you? That's why you still think that.
Yeah, why me?
You still, of course, you work hard, right? Yeah. It's almost like imposter syndrome because, you know, of course you, in my eyes, but right? What a right pick, because you're not taking it for granted. You're working.
Well, hey, I guess, but yeah.
Clark's being real. I mean, you don't take it for granted. And I know a lot of people that have traveled and moved here that take it for granted.
Become greasy.
They rely on mommy and daddy, and that's all they care about, you know, and you're doing your thing.
Yeah, people are different.
They are. You're cut from a rare cloth, my friend. You're cut from a rare cloth. I aspire to be cut from that cloth.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just coming from there and coming here. Wow.
Yeah. Do you have any plans with fitness? Like you want to do competitions?
I definitely want to compete. Oh my God, I cannot wait. But like when I started out with him, you know, I sat down and thought about it, just like financially at that time, and it's the stuff that I do, everything that I have. It just wasn't the right investment. The best investment is for me to get knowledgeable, more and more knowledgeable, and just understand my body, just certain things. I'd rather invest in that at the moment than like being coached. But I will believe that.
How old are you?
I mean? I'm 28 years old.
Okay, yeah, you still got plenty of time.
So exactly. Yeah. So I won't say plenty of time, but I still have some time.
Oh man, my buddy says you're not in your prime for bodybuilding until you get gray in your beard, and I believe that, dude. That's when like muscle maturity is there.
That's true. That's true. But yeah, I want to get that process going as soon as I can. And that's the reason why I don't really care about modeling, because I'm not going to look like a model.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm not gonna look
you
like
don't look
model.
like one now, bro. But in the sense that like most models aren't like jacked. Right, you know, yeah, exactly. You work out. I see models just kind of partying and doing what they got to do to stay thin, but
you won't eat for a week.
Yeah, you know what I mean. But I have a goal. You know,
yeah, hell yeah, you do.
I'm not worried about how I look right now. You know, what I mean?
For sure.
Yeah, I definitely have a goal.
So, what are you doing tech wise right now? You mentioned that a couple times.
Support for Loom.
Yeah,
okay.
we work.
So I set up the store.
We work together technically again.
Yeah. So yeah, I set up the stores, and I do like the IT stuff, help manage it and stuff like that.
Right on.
So,
that's dope.
So that's what I
do.
Yeah,
he'd come in every now and again when there's an IT problem, and I see G in the store, and I'm like, oh, what up, though?
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's so funny.
Yeah, it is.
That you guys are working for the same company again.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It was
small world.
Yeah, it was meant to be.
Right. I texted him. I sent you like a picture of the Loom background when I was in the manager's office. I was like, guess where I'm at? He's like, oh no shit. I'm like, yeah, I just got a new job.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, like, I definitely like seeing you around.
Right. You work remote. You guys have an office.
Both. We have an office in Troy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's headquarters, right?
Yeah, that's
and then you go.
Have you ever been there?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, but that's where that's. It's nothing really too crazy, but.
Yeah. Where do you live right now?
Redford.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Where you train at?
Edge Fitness.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like 8 minutes away from my house.
They're nice.
Yeah, it's decent.
They're great. Dude, they have everything you need, and they're cheap.
It is cheap. Exactly.
Like it
is cheap.
I can't believe how cheap it is for how much stuff they have.
Yeah,
it's decent for sure. Like I like.
It's better than Crunch. That's for sure.
I've never actually been to Crunch but one time. So
I've been to Crunch once.
I don't like their equipment at all.
Everything is hoist.
Yep, I don't like that.
I didn't think I had a good workout there. That was a couple years ago, like college maybe. Yeah.
Right. Where'd you go to college?
Marygrove College.
Okay. And you played soccer there, right?
I played soccer there. Yeah.
That's fucking dope.
That's sweet. Did you walk on there, or did you play with from high school?
This dude played soccer too.
Oh, did you?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really walk on. I try hard.
Yeah.
I try hard. That's it. I try hard. You know what I mean? I went there. I tried to get on the team. I worked hard, and I eventually got on the team and earned my spot.
Oh, that's sweet.
That's literally what happened.
So no scholarship.
No scholarship.
You just
they end up giving me some money, but it's not like I had a scholarship.
Right.
There. I went there for school, and then so I was gonna play soccer no matter what.
What'd you go to school for?
Computer information systems. Yeah.
At least you're doing something you went to school for.
Yeah.
Not many people can
a
say
lot of
that.
people do,
That's
dude.
always been my plan too.
Yeah?
That's always been my plan.
Now, was that your plan in the sense because tech fascinated you, or
Well-
why tech?
Well, I saw my first piece of technology. I saw my first IBM computer back home, and I didn't know what it was. It was like, but I remembered it for some odd reason. How I ended up, it was in these people's house. How I ended up in the house, I do not remember. But I remember seeing that computer like in the corner, and I was like, what is that? Like, most of us barely had TVs, but to see a computer with a screen, I was like, whoa. Then when I came here, my mom had the same type of technology in her home. So I just started messing around with it, breaking it apart, seeing what it was and this and that. And I want to know more about it. And again, and that's how that started.
That's so dope.
Yeah.
That's so dope. I live such
all
a
curiosity.
I live
Yeah.
such a cushy lifestyle
It's all
compared
curiosity.
to that. Yeah, my curiosity is new. Like my curiosity for knowledge is
oh
new.
my
Yeah.
God, Clark, but you're amazing. though.
Well, I appreciate
You're
that,
so
but yeah, that's from meeting people like you, though. You know what I'm saying? Like coming from such a different background, because my upbringing was not
Yeah.
in this sense, right?
Yeah.
But it's
My
still
upbringing,
interesting, though.
yeah, of course.
Everyone has an interesting
Yeah.
story,
Yeah.
but I think it's when we come across and have conversations with people that had an upbringing like you, that's really what molds somebody's mind to be a certain way. It's, Clark and I are both very open-minded people, but I don't think that's because of how we were raised. I think that's because of the interactions we've had with people and the things
guess
we've
that's
learned
true.
about what is outside of America
That's true.
and what is not,
true.
because
But the way
that's
you guys receive it as well, though.
I mean, we're human.
Yeah.
We're all a human should be treated with respect, regardless of where they're from.
Absolutely.
And I think that's one thing that really puts an impression on our minds, because at the end of the day, people who live in Africa are just as human as the people who live in the States.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, literally one different skin color, right?
Yeah.
Everything else is fundamentally the same. Like it's
exactly
unbelievable.
the same.
Oh,
That's what I'm
yeah.
saying.
It's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
ridiculous,
It's just
but-
like it's crazy that there's this divide like that in any way for humanity.
Yeah, it's sad.
It's so sad.
It's sad. It's
But my
I mean, that's why I love that. I mean, like, again, another cringy thing. I love that thing. Like, it's just one race that's human.
yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
it's human. Like-
And I think that's something that's really important
human
to
race.
drive across
Yeah.
for people.
Well, I think technology and where it is now actually helps too in that sense, because I've seen stuff that you share and it's
yeah.
changed the way I've thought of stuff, like again, like immigration, right?
Yeah.
Or how lucky I am to have running water.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's the blessing of running into you that one day and working with you, right? And again, the domino effect of what it's taken place in my life. So it's just
I mean, there's been times where, like, I've had to, like if my mom was complaining about something, I would, and if it was something like really petty, really stupid, I would sometimes like yell at her and be like, "Do you realize what you're complaining about?"
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But it's good because they take a second. They're like, "Wow, I actually am like
Yeah.
being kind of dumb right now."
Yeah.
got to take yourself. You got to audit that situation, right?
Absolutely.
Damn, my mom listens to this too. Fuck.
Sorry, mom. Sorry, mom. I do it too. He does it to me too. It's not just you. But, no, but
That's hilarious. I couldn't imagine.
right. And now, mom's inspiration on you.
Yeah.
Like how inspiring was that to you? Because she brought you here. She had to work hard.
You know, it's funny. And I say this. I've had a lot of respect for my mother in my life. You know what I mean? Like growing up, I had a lot of respect for her. But now, like, it's not that I don't respect her a lot, but there's a huge difference in like the man that I'm becoming, the things that I'm pursuing, and like the person that she is.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, no offense, I feel like I have like excelled. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like,
Well, I mean,
mentally.
you should.
Yeah, and she, obviously.
I think we talked about this last week.
Yeah.
Like, children should surpass their parents at a certain point. Like, I want my son to do that. I want
Right.
to see that happen, because that means I did my job as a parent.
Absolutely.
And your mom, the way she did everything to get you guys here and all that, that's a big, like, influence on you
Yeah.
that drove you to push, and now you surpassed what. So everything she was trying to do for you, she completed,
Right,
and now
absolutely.
you're taking it to the next step.
Absolutely, yeah.
And that's how it should be.
Yeah. But she doesn't agree with everything that I do.
No, and that's
where
gonna
it's just
happen.
like, oh my God. Like,
Right.
You know, but I am who I am too at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, I still respect her. But yeah.
Of course.
Do you have any siblings?
I'm actually the last. So on my mom's side, I have an older brother here, and I have a younger sister. But on my dad's side, I'm the last of 15 kids.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. So
You just talk to the ones that live here.
Yes, I mostly talk to the ones that live here. So when I go back home this year, if HBO doesn't go through, I'm still gonna. But my plan was to get to know the rest of my family.
Yeah.
Because I've never really had that. Like I'm gonna be in a room with like all of them.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, I've never had that.
No,
before.
that's sweet.
And you're old enough now to
And I'm old
appreciate
enough
it.
to then I got a lot of questions. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like why, you know, so yeah, it's a lot.
can't imagine.
You know what I mean?
I can't
It's a
imagine.
lot, so I'm nervous for that as well.
Yeah, but excitingly nervous.
Exactly. So, but yeah,
That's gonna be dope.
yeah, it's
Run us through some of the food over there.
huh?
Cuisine. What's cuisine
uh,
like?
Yeah,
over
you
there?
you eat some crazy
Yeah,
shit.
we-
So I
some-
coach. I'm not sure exactly where he's from, but he's from Africa.
What's his name?
Kobe or
He's from Ghana.
Okay,
I
okay.
actually run into him
yeah.
sometimes. Yeah.
So and he's like, hey man, can you put this in my meal plan? And I'm like, bro, what? I'm googling shit, and I'm like trying to find nutrition facts, and I'm like, this stuff sounds so good. Like,
hey, I'm actually glad you said that. Because when I was training with you, I thought, and that's one of the reasons why I want to get back to that, because I want to be able to implement like
Your
our
food.
food.
Yeah.
Right. That will make it so much easier.
Hang on, I gotta pull this up because I can tell you what he asked me to put in his plan.
Dude, this is the conversation right here. This is the
Okay.
conversation
Yeah.
right here.
What? So just, you can keep going.
So he
though,
asked
like-
me to put banku.
Banku, okay.
Yeah, he asked me to put banku in his plan, and then African yams, and then hang on,
That sounds about it.
and then plantains.
Plantain, yep, exactly.
Yeah. There was another thing he
That's
asked me.
amazing.
I took it out a couple weeks ago, but there was another meal that he wanted in his plan. Do you guys eat a lot of red snapper?
Yep, red snapper.
Yeah, he loves red
Yep,
snapper.
Yep.
I was gonna say you have
All
a
of
favorite. You have a favorite dish. You post
It's
about it.
fish. And
Okay.
I actually,
How do you say
Yeah,
it?
so it's a fish dish that you guys prepare, right?
but they probably have a
Different way to
Yeah,
do
they
it.
probably have
Yeah.
a different way. But yeah, we eat atike. It's like
That's the
cassava.
one.
Yeah.
It's cassava and
Oh,
fish.
so yeah, cassava was
Yeah.
one that he
Okay,
asked me
yeah,
to put
cassava.
in his plan.
I figured he had said
What's
cassava.
that?
Cassava is actually I'm not sure if it's a good carb, but we eat it a lot. But it's a plant. Okay.
Yeah.
And they like grind it.
They grind it, yeah.
And it's
Dude, I
like-
learned all this when I was Googling, like trying to figure out nutrition
Right.
facts.
So that's what I really wanted to ask. Like, how could we go about implementing that type of stuff? Like, because if I want to do this, like, for me to be great, that
Yeah.
would be it.
So
right
like
there.
the thing, like the banku was easy to find.
Okay.
The plantains obviously were
Yeah,
easy to do, but the cassava was like he could only eat so little of it because it was so calorie dense.
Okay.
That's why we ended up taking it out.
Okay.
But what is banku again?
Banku, I think banku is a form of, I don't want to say cassava.
I think it's
but
made from
a different plant.
yeah.
I would say it's a different plant. I don't really know.
dude,
the
this guy would
proper-
love, like, he would be like, I'd be like, dude, why isn't your weight moving? And he's like, I'm snacking on plantain chips. And I'm like, dude, what? Like, they're deep fried.
Yes,
And then
yes,
plantains are have more carbs than like a banana.
bananas.
And eating plantains, you pretty much have to fry them or cook them.
Yeah. You definitely have to fry.
Have you ever
even like the chips you fry?
I've
I eat
eaten
them a
like
lot.
a plantain, like just
Really?
off the thing. It's
No.
disgusting.
Yeah,
How do you
gotta
cook it? You
We
fry
gotta
it?
Yeah,
You have to fry it.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Because like,
man.
and then like, and Latino, like they eat mofongo, which is like mashed up plantain, and it's
Yes.
deep fried.
Yes. Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Too. You can dip it in.
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
God, yes, we have
Like,
that.
it's really big in Puerto Rico.
amazing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my
Okay.
God, that tastes so good. Yes.
Because cuisine is sweet, dude.
Yeah, of course.
Cuisine is awesome.
That's what what's his name did. One guy that ended up passing away. But that's where he would go to different places and eat their cuisine, and that's how he would learn about their culture.
Yeah,
and that's really cool because it is so different.
Well, I think, but African cuisine is really cool because it's influenced by so many different cultures because of what's going on history wise. Right. Like he has like French influences, and then he has Muslim influences on his food. So like he's got like wide ranges of spices and different preparations of food, which is that's why I think like African food is some of the coolest food. I mean, I watch Food Network when I'm at home, so like the only thing I've like learned is like from that. But
Bourdain, that's his name, Bourdain, Anthony Bourdain.
Oh yeah.
That's where he would do it. Okay, they just hit me, but man, that's fucking dope.
But that would be amazing. Like next time. That's what I'm pushing for. Something more.
I mean, I can even show you how to do it. You don't even got. I can show you how to make it work because it was easy, and he's losing weight. He's getting ready for a show, and he's dieting on that stuff still.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So,
is there like a market you go to get the stuff?
I mostly, believe it or not, I go to the Easter market a lot. My family goes to the Easter market, so
for sure.
Yeah.
Eastern market is a good spot. There's like
it's a lot of fresh.
In Troy,
cuisine.
there's a good Asian market. I think it's called H2 or something like that. It's like right on like Big Beaver and like DeQuinder.
I'll probably drive
over there. It's probably right near those offices you work at. But that's a good spot for like ethnic foreign foods. It's not just Asian.
What is it called? H2?
I think H2 market. Okay, yeah, H2 market. It's not just Asian. It's a foreign market.
Okay, nice.
And then we have a bunch of like Arabic ones.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Halal.
Yeah.
Is it halal?
Yeah, it is halal. Yeah.
Because you are Muslim, right?
I mean, they have a couple African markets here, but it's not as big. But they have like the Kev. I think it's called Kev and J or whatnot. It's like not too far away from here. They have a lot of African stuff there too.
Do you have like I know the group you chill with, you have a very strong group. Are most of them African? Like yeah, most
of them are. Yep.
Do they come from the Ivory Coast? Do they come from different spots?
Different spots.
I know because you guys tease each other, especially like soccer time and shit.
Soccer time and like different food. They think they have the best food.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's a huge thing,
right?
That's a
language.
Huge thing.
They think their language is like.
Oh my god! So, have you watched Ted Lasso?
I love that.
I know what that is, but I don't know.
Okay, so there's an episode where a billionaire from Africa comes to buy a player, and he takes him to like African cuisine, like restaurants, and he's like, I think he's from Ghana and he's from like Sudan or something, and like they're teasing each other. Like he's like, oh, you think you make it the best way, and like
exactly how
that's funny.
It's even like playing.
That's real life.
Yeah. I'm telling you, I see it because like I follow him. So like it's so funny watching your stories. You guys teasing each other.
It's funny.
My brother-in-law owns a jiu-jitsu academy.
Nice.
And
what is it called?
Assembly Jiu-Jitsu.
Yes, I actually went there not too long ago. That's funny.
Really?
Yeah.
I was gonna ask because I saw you started a roll.
Yeah, and I was gonna continue to the one in Farmington or Bloomfield. It was.
He's on Square Lake and Telegraph. That's Bloomfield Hill.
That's the one I was supposed to be going to next. Okay.
So he has an instructor there. It's also like his best friend. His name is Haisam. He's from Ghana. Yep. He's like 6'5".
I heard about him. Yep.
And the dude is garbage disposal. Yeah. The way he eats, because he's always hanging out with our family. Because they met. He lived in Tokyo. He was born in Ghana and then moved to Tokyo. Lived in Tokyo, and then that's where my brother-in-law met him. Because my brother-in-law moved to Tokyo, and then they came back here. He opened a school, and he brought him and. So he's like their best friend. So he's at everything, any family event we have, and he's just eating
I
nonstop.
heard about this man actually.
He's ranked 9th in the world for his weight class in no-gi.
I heard.
Jesus. So he's an assassin.
Yeah.
He's an assassin.
They call him the giraffe. That's his nickname.
How tall is he?
6'5".
Dang.
Yeah.
Legit.
But you recently started rolling, right? You recently started some BJJ.
And I said I was going to continue. So I was supposed to
Where'd you go?
To the one in Telegraph. The same one, I think it was I just took Telegraph and went straight. I think West Bloomfield or whatever it was. I'm not really familiar with those areas.
Yeah.
Like if it's not even like Troy, I don't drive around those areas, to be honest. So I don't really know too much, but
yeah, no, that's cool.
So, but yeah, well, that's dope.
That's all that was.
Yeah. It's dope that you're gonna go back and try something new. Yeah,
I thought it was fun. I was fasting at that time when I did it too, so I got a little lightheaded. So I took some time.
Oh yeah. You were fasting.
But, yeah,
dude, it's hard.
Yeah,
definitely.
It wasn't easy.
I can't do it. I can't bend that way, dude. Something will snap.
I mean, my brother-in-law's had that school for 3 years, and I've never rolled. And because I just tell him, I am the type that if I start, I'm gonna want to compete, and I'm gonna want to do the tournaments.
You're gonna make it your life.
I'm gonna make it my life, and I don't have time for that because jujitsu is very time consuming.
Right.
Do you think bodybuilding's time consuming?
Wow.
This thing is time consuming.
I can't imagine.
Wow.
Their practices are 3 hours long.
Oh my God.
And then they're like multiple days a week.
Right.
And then, all this other stuff that goes into it, like, I mean, granted, there's no gear and stuff, like gear you wear.
Right, gi and then no gi.
No gi's so popular now. Gi's gi's popular, but it's not as popular. No gi just looks cooler.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
I just can't get over the sweatiness, like being all sweaty with somebody else like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like we already sweaty and
rolling and touching.
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's cool.
Yeah. No, it's funny.
Do you have any plans with that, or you just want to try?
I just want to do it. I think it's
what attracted you to it?
I just like fighting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like fighting and
MMA shit or just boxing?
Just in general.
Yeah.
I just think it's important too. You know what I mean?
Know that?
I like fighting. Just something like that. Just do that, work out, just be active.
Well, I mean, shit, the UFC right now has like 4 or 5 world champions are from Africa.
Yeah, that's great for them. You know what I mean, it's great. But I'm not pursuing it or anything.
Okay.
I just don't do it for fun,
That would fuck up the modeling career.
Yeah,
real
it was
quick.
just it's too much. Like kind of like what he said. If I'm really, really locked in or something, it's a wrap.
Yeah, it just turns into like
rap.
Your life.
Like
Yeah,
even like
I mean?
even like my wife, like she was like, Dina was like, don't do it because I know you. Like you're gonna end up.
Absolutely.
And then her brother's like that, so like he would be like, no, you're gonna do this tournament.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Pushing you along.
Let's go.
I can't do that.
Yeah.
At least you know your limits.
You definitely gotta be careful with that, or else you're gonna end up doing so much and not getting a lot done. I feel, at least for me, I already do a lot. So,
are you reading any books right now or anything? And
yes, I'm actually reading a technology book around this time. So a CCNA book.
Just a furthering education book. Yeah,
just furthering my education. I'm gonna be a certified networking engineer soon. So. That's what I'm pursuing.
Is that going to open up more doors?
More doors for me and this and that. And like once I get the ball rolling on that, I'm going to be completely remote.
Nice.
You know what I mean? So I'm going to be able to like just
do your own.
Go train, you know what I mean? Like, so it's not really going to affect me moving around. Life is just going to be a little different soon.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm excited for
That's
that.
dope.
Yeah.
So you were talking about this earlier. You are looking to integrate technology and nutrition for your village.
Mm-hmm.
What does that look like?
What does that look like? And like that's why I'm interested in what you were just talking about first.
Like trying to teach them how to eat their foods.
Trying to everything, what I mean? Just the knowledge, what's a carb? You know what I mean? Just as far as that goes too. Just all of that. Building the gym there. Just creating awareness. If I go back home and build a cool gym, right, that right there alone would attract people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That right there, I could use that to spread some knowledge, even if it's to 10, 15, whatever, how many people. If they really understand it, they could.
Yeah.
And so on and so forth. And and I hope it's a solid gym. And it's going to be a solid gym if I make it happen. So teach that and open like a tech place as well and just spread that knowledge.
If you open up a tech place, like what would that be? Would it be like do they have electricity? I'm very ignorant.
They have electricity. They do have electricity, even though the government sometimes just chooses to
shut it off.
And same thing with water. But they do have that, and they have these places called like cyberspace. It's called cyberspace, where they have like a few computers,
like a cyber cafe.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and it's like trash, they have like old IBM computers and stuff like that. So again, if I was to build a cool one in my village, like instead of these broken ones, like even like the video game rooms, it's just like wood and a screen and You know what I mean? So if you build something interesting that they have not, they're gonna be wondering like, whoa, why, and you know what I mean?
So people in your village right now, like we're in 2022, what is their access to like daily news? Do they know? Do they have like internet access to the point where they can find out what's happening anywhere?
So now
I'm not sure what kind of government is in the Ivory Coast.
So a lot of people don't have Wi-Fi. A lot of people have phones now because of the Chinese. They have like these phones called China Talks, where they're like very cheap, and so you could go and buy like minutes and put them in there, like these cheap phones, and you could use Facebook and like surf the web that way. But it's not like
do they censor anything in your country?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
Not that I know of. I feel like if you have the money, you can access
anything.
Okay. You just gotta have the money. You know, you gotta have the technology. It's not like it's not there, especially these days. But like, you know, like,
it's scarce.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like a toilet seat. Somebody there has toilet seats, but millions of other people don't have that. You know, so it's there.
Yeah.
You know, but it's probably not like all over.
How big is the Ivory Coast? Like how
it's not
populated?
Too small. It's bigger than Ghana.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But Ghana is more popular than the Ivory Coast.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's man. What a fucking like crazy. Dive into somebody else's life.
Ghana, Ivory Coast did pretty well in what 2010 World Cup.
Yeah, 2010. I think 2010 we might have won the African Cup of Nations. I think that's what that was. 2010 they did decent. We were always decent.
Yeah.
How'd they do this year in the African Cup? Because that was a big deal, right?
We didn't do too well. It was we didn't do too well.
Who were you? You were cheering for somebody else, though, right?
I was cheering for actually like Burkina Faso. I was cheering for Ivory Coast first. But,
Right.
You know, obviously they lost, and I was all over the place, man.
Is soccer like obviously the sport, but like is it like how you see teams here, like people like loving the Lions over the Eagles type shit?
Have you ever been to a soccer game?
Yeah, but it's not.
I don't know shit about soccer.
It's wild. Yeah, it's wild.
But that's what I mean. Like
it's very personal. You know what I mean? It's literally like, in a lot of these places, it's like the one thing that could take them wherever. You know what I mean? So. Yeah, it means a lot to us. You know what I mean? Like soccer is everything.
What's your English Premier League team?
My English Premier League, Man City.
Yeah.
For sure, Man City.
How about La Liga?
La Liga. It used to be Barcelona.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You're a Messi fan?
Yeah, I'm a huge Messi fan. Yeah.
Messi or Ronaldo?
I'm a CR7 fan.
Who's that, Ronaldo?
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm starting to respect him more and more and more and more as I age, and just see Messi how he's playing these days and stuff like that. But yeah, I think
you follow PSG a lot, or not really?
No, I just started following them a lot because Messi.
Yeah,
you know. But
no, I'm a Man United fan, and beautiful. I'm a Real fan.
Beautiful.
I was a Real fan though before Ronaldo was even there. Like I loved them since Zidane played for them.
Okay, amazing. No, I'm just a huge Messi fan.
Yeah.
I'm just fascinated by the way he plays.
And I'm a big Dortmund fan too.
Dortmund, yeah, nice. Yeah, yep.
This is so above my head. It's crazy.
It's like you with hockey.
Probably worse.
Dude, I
this is like me with
hockey.
Spanish.
I love hockey.
Yeah.
Hockey and soccer are the two sports I can watch.
Yeah.
I actually want to start watching hockey.
Hockey right now would be the time because it's the
and
playoffs.
Yeah, exactly.
And the playoffs are nuts.
And I'm seeing it at the gym. Like when I'm working out, I see a couple. I'm like, whoa, that was sick.
It's a fast game.
It's fast game.
Yeah,
and it's a fast game, very exciting. Wings games are the best.
Yeah, dude. They're a lot of fun.
I've been to
yeah,
one before.
They're just loud and fast, and it's awesome.
It's better, obviously, when the team is better, but I mean, they're still fun.
Yeah,
really cool.
It's cool when you go and the other team is good though, because the Wings suck right now. But as long as it's still entertaining, it is.
So what happened to that? I feel like they were when I was younger. Whatnot.
We were a dynasty.
The dynasty, dude.
Yeah, it just happens, right? You get
people
all these
get
people
old and retire,
and now we're of the age where the people probably hated the Wings growing up because they were smacking their teams growing up. So then nobody wants to go there.
Wow.
And now there's a huge influence with like social media, right? What can you flex about in Detroit? not as much as you can about New York or Florida or Cali,
there
right?
Is an influence
and there's a thing too. Like I listened to a hockey podcast, and one of the jokes they make is, no state tax. So if you go to Florida, even on a lesser contract, you can make more potentially there than you will
pay Michigan State income tax.
Exactly. So like, there's a lot of things that influence that, and like Detroit just isn't that sought after. It's just not. That's why our football team sucks. Our basketball team sucks.
That's true.
And if you look, all these coastal teams now, all these bigger cities are getting way better because, like, growing up in this era now, you got to think some of these players are 19 years old, right? So they're looking at Instagram. Yeah. They're looking at this flex generation that we have, right? And it's influencing where they go in sports.
A lot of Wings players live in Northville.
Right.
Like, what are you going to do in Northville?
Right. Nothing. It's a quiet-ass town.
Yeah.
Or you could go to Manhattan and play for the New York Rangers.
Yeah, or the Islanders.
Yeah, and just be in New York, and it's way sweeter.
Yeah, I probably would have came here either. No place.
Where did you live in New York when you went there?
Brooklyn.
Oh, no
Brooklyn,
shit. So in this, wow, what a difference that was.
Exactly my point.
You went from Africa to Brooklyn.
In a low place.
That's
with some African people. There was a lot of African people around there.
Okay, that's good.
There was a lot of African people around there. But mostly it was a lot of Ivorians in Detroit.
Oh, really?
When I first came, it's not like that. A lot of people moved out of Michigan. Yeah, a lot of people moved. A lot of people got deported too in the last couple of years.
ICE was really big the last couple of years on deportation.
Yeah. A lot of people went away. Yeah.
There's a bunch of Chaldeans that got deported.
Heard. I was sad, but
yeah. It is what it is. You're making it work.
I'm trying. Like I said, I'm blessed to be here.
Yeah.
Right.
Every day I'm blessed to be here.
There's that smile.
Yeah, every time, man.
I know. It's crazy. It's so infectious. It's infectious.
Contagious.
Yeah, exactly. And that was a cool part about working in the same building as you. Every time we would have like a lot of looks at each other in the gym, especially, right?
Yeah.
Seeing some cringy shit.
Yeah.
And you like
look at G, and G's laughing.
Place to be,
yeah, G's already looking at me laughing, waiting for me to see it, type of thing, or I'm doing the same.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it is.
You're a good guy, man. I'm glad I met you, man. I'm glad I met you there. It was amazing.
I appreciate the fuck out of that, man. It means a lot coming from somebody like you.
Likewise. When I talked to him, I was like, wow, this man is open-minded. Like, you know what I mean? He's receiving. It's like, wow, that's amazing, man.
I'm glad, bro. I'll never forget. I was at that point where I thought I was the shit in the gym too. So like, thought I could. I had a fucking ego of a 26-year-old, you know what I'm saying, who hadn't got checked, who hadn't known these type of stories. So like, I wasn't the most humble by any means, right? I'd overcome being the fat kid. So in my head, I overcame
the fucking
this.
Man.
Exactly, bro. Fat kid to a potential competitor. Because you knew me right before I competed, right? Or did you know me after?
After.
Okay, after. Then, I really had a big head then because I just won, right? So I'm like, nobody can tell me nothing. And I was natural. I had that natural pride then, being like, I did this without steroids. Now I don't give a fuck. Now I think that was silly of me because the sport is just different than that, right?
Yep.
But I remember I was like in that little area, that personal training area, and then you just came up to me and that, like you said, what's your diet like? And it's like such a weird first question, like somebody I'd never seen you before, but that, and we just talked for a little bit, and how do you like working here? And I'm like, I don't know, bro. It's not the best, But then you're like, I'm thinking about doing it. I was like, it's not bad. They sell it for you, and you just get clients. And I know you were hustling there for sure. You were coming in at 6 a.m. some days. Yeah. I was only working Monday through Wednesday, dude.
I was there like every day.
Yeah, every day grinding.
Yeah, and now look.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I remember, man. I had this one client there, and you want to talk about fascinating. She just had a cushy ass life, was a teacher somewhere, and just the worst person I'd ever met. Just a horrible fucking person. And she just, everything was a complaint. Everything, my back hurts, this hurts, that hurts. And funny enough, I remember Tuesday at 4:30. That was her time. That was her day. Now at Tuesday at 4:30, if I recognize the time, I always get happy because I'm not with her. But she had
no, legit. It affected you that much.
She had one lung,
What?
Yes.
Wow.
Get the fuck
I swear
out
to
of
God, bro. I swear to God on everything that I love. And she had one lung, and she used that as a crutch. Like, oh, I can't walk too much.
Oh, my God.
And like, it didn't even dawn on me when everything was going on about her. Like, I didn't think about her at all. But like, I wonder if subconsciously that's how I was like, fuck you, I'm making this work. You know, because like I had heard this and I didn't believe her. You know what I mean? Like you can feel when somebody's lying to you
Absolutely.
so egregiously. And not that I didn't believe her about one lung. She would act like she was going hard and then be like, that was tough. And then like would bitch about it and then
So
be
at
like,
the lady on the
yes, you know
my God.
She didn't, bro. We worked out one time, and the next week she comes in and she's like, you messed up my back. And I was like, what? And she's like, you messed up my back. We can't work out like that anymore. I was like, okay. And she's like, I need to sit down when I work out. I was like, okay. Like my whole goal is for you not to do that, right? So I would have to get her a chair. I would have to get her a chair every Tuesday at 4:30, and it'd be ready for her, so that I had to make sure that I ate right before. I had to make sure
if you were hungry, you
dog.
would fucking
Yes,
lose
I
it.
was gonna be so mad at her because I didn't want to hear these excuses. You know what I mean? Like, and then what a weird time to meet him. Because here I am, this dude has it way harder than she'll ever fucking know. Wealthy lady living in Northville, you know, doing all right. I know that for a fucking fact. But she never missed a fucking appointment. Mm-hmm. That was the worst. She was there every Tuesday, bitched the whole time.
Clients,
Yep, bitched the whole time. And then as soon as time was done, she'd be like, all right, I'll see you next week.
Yeah, I swear that's exactly how it was. All right, I'll see you next week.
Yeah, with a smile on her face.
Dude.
Bro, we got into it a couple of times.
I can't believe she had one lung.
I know.
What the fuck are the chances of that?
I know. Isn't that fucking hilarious? But she would always be like, because I would do a lot of like, not cardio, but like
Station
rope.
stuff.
Yeah, rope work and stuff with people because they just want to be in shape,
Yeah.
right? So I would try it with her, the rope pull and then the battle ropes.
Yeah.
Dog, she would go through one time and be like, all right, we're done. And I was like, all right, well, you know, she lived a seated life too. Mm-hmm. And that's all she wanted to do was sit down. It's crazy. She was a teacher. She would wake up, drive to work, sit down in her class. She was a music teacher too.
I didn't.
She sat at a piano.
Yeah, well, she could sit,
sense.
do the trumpet if she wanted. The flute, she was a flute player because she said she had like a nice like silver flute or something that she would play on every now and again, like classically. And I don't know.
One lung playing the flute, but bitching about working out.
Exactly, bro. You do what you want to do,
do
right?
what you want to do.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I
what
mean,
you wanna do.
That's funny that I'm thinking about her right now, man. What a lesson that was, and it was in the negative way, right?
Yeah.
And then G's in the positive way in the same fucking building. Right, and that's what we were talking about last week, him and I, is how weird people are because of how different we are. Right, you got Elon Musk going to Mars. You got people thinking the Earth is flat. You know what I'm saying? We differ so much, and we could be in the same fucking spot.
We could be in the same building.
Same building with the completely different outlooks.
It's amazing.
Completely different outlook. It is life, but it's a melting pot in America, and that's like, in my opinion, why it's easy to hate one another in America too, because we all look different in this room.
Yeah.
We all come from different places of the world in this room, but if we go to those places, they'll look like us.
Yeah.
Right. So it's easier to get along. Right. When you go to your village, you know, they look like you. When you go, if you were to go there, they would look right. So it's hard to get along because we are a tribal animal, right?
Absolutely.
And that's not our tribe.
No, and people want to
Like this would not be our tribe.
No, dude, if you showed somebody in the village this, would they think this was wild?
Bro, like what? That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? It's still like that to people.
Right.
Like,
show them you're sitting at a microphone that we're talking.
Phone.
I can't imagine.
This is like. So still blessed.
Well, what's crazier now, and I've always, not always, but I've had this conversation with Easy, my roommate, is like, what would be crazier to you now if you came over here at this age? A supermarket or like a phone like that? Because do they have supermarkets back
I think
home?
a supermarket would probably be it. Because I probably would have seen a phone on like somewhere, Facebook more than a supermarket being on social media.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think a supermarket would probably be more like, wow.
And that's so fucking nuts because there's one almost every fucking corner, and you just take it for granted every day. Think about the chore that it is to go shopping for groceries. Yep. And we've become so accustomed and so cushy.
We're so fucking lazy. We have Instacart now.
That's what I'm saying, bro. You can pull up,
amazing.
have somebody else load your fucking...
My man, you don't even have to go to the grocery store. You can order it and get it shipped to your house.
Yeah, you're just proving my point even more, bro. And not once did you think of quitting, right? But some of these people that are so fucking blessed think about quitting all the fucking time.
But they don't know, though.
They don't know.
Right,
No,
right. Dave Chappelle has this... It's funny to me, but I have a wild...
You have a weird sense of humor.
Yeah, but he talks about how Anthony Bourdain killed himself, and he experienced all these experiences, right? But this dude that he knew growing up that had shit life never thought of it once. And the way he dresses it up is funny as fuck, but like, it's crazy that quitting ain't an option. It's just not a fucking option. And whether it be your role models or what you had to go through to get here to be where you are, but I've thought of quitting, right? I've thought of quitting a couple of things in my life, if not life itself, right? Because I'm so fucking cushioned that when one thing goes wrong, it's like, oh, everything goes wrong. Life goes wrong. But that's not true at all.
Yeah.
It's not true at all. There's so much to life. There's so much more to learn. There's so much. You should never not be curious. And I'm so glad that
Especially
I stumbled upon that. Yeah, especially if you're here. What's there not to be curious about, right? Your neighbor might be G, and you got this story, and you don't know it, and you're living next to him, cutting your grass, just saying hi because you don't even want to fucking talk to him. Right, just hey, and then you put your head down.
We actually say that all the time. How different it is here. Like we don't know our neighbors.
Right, community.
Like in villages, like it was a community.
Everybody.
Everyone
and
knew
if you
everyone's
didn't
first
know
names.
them, you saw them every day.
Yeah, exactly.
I haven't had a conversation with my neighbors.
No, me
at my
either.
new house. I don't even know their names.
It's common here. It's weird.
When I moved into the new spot that I'm at, people came over to introduce themselves, and I'm like, that was dope. I've never had that before.
That's dope.
I've never had that. And they're like, we live across the street. So-and-so lives right there. And it was like, it made me feel good. It makes me feel good leaving the house.
Yeah.
Knowing that they're a community on that block. That's dope. When I see them, it's more than just, hey. Right? How you doing today? Right? And I genuinely care.
Exactly.
Did you see anything today? What's going on the block? Right?
Yeah.
I don't live in a bad spot or nothing, but
still.
Yeah, exactly. And like, think about, you just live so sheltered, so cut away in this selective bubble.
Weird.
But there's people that you can learn from every day. There's just different things out there. There's different lives in the same building, right? Like we were saying, that one lady in the same building, and she has the audacity, the bitch, and she's over there putting somebody else through a training session. Like, you can go harder. You can go harder. You can always go harder.
Yes.
And I've become fascinated with people like that those hard motherfuckers, like Cameron Haynes. Do you know who that is? Ultra marathon runner. David Goggins.
Yeah.
You know, those people. Goggins and Haynes are kind of in the same boat with
stuff.
Yeah. They're like, nobody cares, work harder, right? Because realistically, nobody gives a fuck. You might as well just work harder.
Yeah.
You know, and Goggins, I love that people like that exist, right? Because I've become very compassionate or empathetic or whatever towards people in their situations now. But at the same time, like, I think perspective is a beautiful thing, right? My life ain't that hard. And when I can sit back and remind that, like, sure, I am sad. I should be sad. Invite it in, let it come, get the feeling out, and then move the fuck on.
Exactly.
Right? I can't make it my fucking life. Right? So it just, it's weird to me how people can make it their life, how people can get offended at something. Like I said, and I love the dude that did, but there was a dude that was making a big deal about a cannabis strain, and the name of it was Super Krishna, and Krishna apparently is a Hindu god. So he was like, that'd be like saying Super Jesus. And I was like, I'd roll that up in a second. What are you talking about? Right, but this is a dude who ain't even Hindu, had a cushy life out in Walled Lake, Waterford, wherever, right? Just and here he is, and maybe it's because he's so empathetic. I don't think he's wrong for it, right? But I think it's making him think something that's like, whoa, why are you stressing on that, bro?
Right.
You're making benefits. You're making an hourly wage. You're gonna have lunch today, and you're worried about this shit.
Right.
That's how cushy life has become. We are so cushy. We can pick things to get offended by.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Deep.
That's a really good point.
And this is why I wanted to sit down and talk to you. And I hate that it had to be like in this situation, right? Like to sit down and finally catch up with you. But remember, we were driving and I saw you next to me. And I saw this smile,
amazing.
and he's like. And I'm like, whoa, G, what up, dude? And he's like, I live right over here. Give me a call sometime. I'm like, for sure.
I was happy to see you.
Yeah, hell yeah. It always makes my day.
Yeah, but I
you.
think it happened. I think this happened for a reason.
Absolutely.
I think so too.
Absolutely.
Like you guys got the chance to catch up in this setting for a reason.
Yeah, 100%.
Because
I think it's going to help
one person
somebody.
is going to listen. One.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's one person listens to it and starts thinking about it. Because that's a domino effect.
Yep.
Exactly.
Absolutely. That's all this about.
You could call this
That's
episode.
I mean, I'm learning so much.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, same. And I knew some of this, right? But it's just so
you know,
dope.
It's a good thing to talk about and learn about because it's stuff that people in America, people here, just never saw it in real life. They saw it in movies. They saw it in TV shows. They saw it in dramas. They didn't see that it's an actual everyday thing that goes on in these countries and how
still
these
going
people,
on.
Still going on to this day.
Up about it.
You know.
Yeah.
And it just, you know, people think like it's just whatever because it never happened to them.
Right, yeah.
And I don't have to deal with that. It doesn't, you know, that's where I think a lot of people will just be ignorant to it all and just say like, well, I don't live like that. That's not where I live. I don't need to pay attention to it because I live here. That's why a lot of people are like that.
Yeah, 100%.
It doesn't affect them really.
It doesn't affect them, so they don't care. They turn the eye, and then they just keep going on with their life.
It's outside of their comfort zone, and
it goes against their narrative.
Yep, exactly, and they don't want to hear it.
Yeah,
they don't even want to hear.
They don't want to hear it. They don't want to talk about it. Like one of the fucking things I hate the most is when people will say shit like if somebody says like don't waste food, and someone's like there's people out there starving, and then this is the worst answer when people are like, well, I can't do anything for them.
Right.
Like it's not that you can take your fucking food and take it there. Right. It's the fact that you're blessed enough to have food. Why are you wasting it?
You know what I mean? Yeah.
It's a cushy life because they'll never know that, right? They'll never know that hunger. So to them, putting food away and wasting isn't even wasting. It's just I'm done. I don't want to eat this.
Yeah. It's funny because this chick that I used to date, we stopped talking recently, said something to me like, you know, you don't have to finish your food all the time, right? Because, you know what I mean? Like, she know a little bit about me and this and that. And then, like, one time she called me like, oh, man, I finished my food today. I'm like, can you stop? Like, that's like personal to me. Right. You know what I mean? Like, I finished my food for a reason. Because that's,
dude,
I didn't
have
that all the time. You know what I mean? Like, she's here like, oh, I'm learning to be more humble. I'm like, you're a fake humble. You know what I mean? Like, I told you something. Now you keep reminding me, like, I'm not settled with, like, everything that I went through. You know what I mean? Like, so, like, even talking about it and thinking, like, I think about it a lot to be comfortable so I can talk about it more. And you keep just like, oh, I finished my food. Like, now it's a joke?
Yeah, now it's turning
into, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
But in my head, it's not. Like, it's the same thing I tell you, same thing, man, I tell you, man, with guns. I don't touch guns. I don't mess with guns. I don't, you know what I mean? Because it reminds me of certain things.
Yeah.
You know, so when I see people thinking it's cool, like,
that ain't you.
You know what I mean? Yeah, guns don't kill people, but still, like, what I saw, guns, and what you saw, you think it's cool as a toy. It's cool. It's nice, you know. But
right, but you're talking about like people acting like
you know what I mean, like.
But you're talking about people like thugging and acting wrong about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, thinking that this shit is cool.
It's cool, you know what I mean? Like, no, like put that away.
Right.
No,
you know
it ain't
like,
a toy.
Yeah, it's
like,
not a toy.
No,
like,
hell no.
Put that away. Like,
that shit pisses me off so much. Right.
You know,
right. I come from a very very pro Second Amendment family, right? Gun family,
right?
But it's
cool.
Not a fucking game.
Which is cool. It's
like,
not a game.
It's not a toy. It's not a game. It's a tool, It's a utensil made for something, and that's the only time you fucking
That's
use
what I'm
it.
saying. It has a purpose. You
Right,
know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, it serves a purpose.
It's not like a new Rolex.
Yeah,
it's not a, it's not something.
Exactly.
But like that shit, I see it too with some of these dudes, right? Some of these people that think they're in the fucking army and they brag about every gun that they have, and it's like, bro, just keep that shit to yourself. Like, it's one thing if it's
I mean,
like,
you know
friends.
how many guns I have.
I know, but
I don't.
I'm your homie. You're not putting it out there like, look how cool.
That's what I'm saying.
Right, yeah,
like, you know.
It's not a joke.
No, this shit ain't. It's not. It's not a fucking game.
It's not a joke at all. Like,
no, that's why there's strict rules on guns. That's why there's.
I'm glad it is.
You know, that's if you ever been to a range, it's very strict at a range. Like, there's an outdoor range we go to in the summer, and it's probably the most strict place I've ever been to.
I've been there. I've been to an outdoor range.
Like, if you shoot too fast, they come and tell you sit down for 5 minutes because you were clicking too fast.
People need that discipline, and that's not the type of people that I'm talking about. People, but it's
right.
just,
No, I know, but I'm saying we're back to like why it's not a fucking toy,
right?
Like,
yeah.
And that's why he thinks about things like that, because he saw it in a whole different perspective,
whole different light,
than
we'll ever.
We grew up seeing them on the shelf at Walmart.
Yeah,
like you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's different.
It's a different condition.
Yeah. A lot of it is conditioning.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother fucking thing in itself, like how conditioned we are here with that.
Life is wild, man.
Yeah.
We're living a different life. Other people are living a completely different life.
Yeah. Living different lives in the same fucking building, bro.
That's true.
Yeah.
Right here.
Right. The same cities and shit. Yeah. People are just living different lives, and it's cool. I'm glad fitness is how I met you.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Too, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because we've always vibed off of that, and that's a whole lifestyle, work ethic type of thing in itself.
It's amazing.
And that's one thing that I truly believe in. Like, if you are constantly curious, right, the more you grow up here, the more you grow.
Absolutely.
Your body.
Yeah.
And it's funny because the more I learn in bodybuilding, it's always come back down to the most simple thing.
Mm-hmm.
Work hard, diet right, and just do what you got to do. Mm-hmm. It can be that easy, but then you see people that are like, let me do these. Let's do all this bullshit. And did you have any clients that wanted all that when you were personal training?
This another reason why I had to stop. People wanted different exercises, every single different routines, different. Like, dude, I hated it by the time I was done.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it was just, I couldn't deal with these type of people.
That's why I stopped.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, people ask me if I'm ever going to coach, and I'm like, no.
Oh, my God.
Ryan asked me, not our Ryan, but the gifted Ryan.
Yeah,
he messaged me. He's like, why don't you apply to the gifted program? I was like, I would be a horrible coach. And he's like, no, you got Dom in your ear. I'm like, I would be a horrible coach. Like, I promise you, because I don't have that time no more. I don't, unless you ask me something like that, right? Like, what's your diet like?
Right.
I don't even pay you any attention. Like the one guy in the video, hey, what do you think about Anavar? Bro, get the fuck away from me. You know what I mean? That's such a bad question, like a first question type of thing. Like, I can't believe that's a thing.
You're open about it.
Yeah.
So, I mean.
Well, I'm open about it to a fault too, though. Like, people, I had somebody ask me to get them some the other day, and I'm like, don't ever ask me like that again. And I don't know who you are. It was somebody random in the gym that asked me if I was on them, and because we were in the sauna, he's like, "Are you running?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Could you get me?" I'm like, "No, don't ever ask me again." Like, that's not how I roll. Like, I don't ask these questions like that. I might ask, like, where do you come from? Right?
Yeah. What are you for work?
Yeah. I'm like,
give me some of that.
Yeah, exactly. Let me get your drugs. No, that ain't it. So yeah, but
it's funny.
It's amazing.
Is there anything like that over there? Is there any drug use over there?
Not really. I didn't really know none of that till I came. Even like protein powder. They don't really have that. You know what I mean? Like, I took some back home. Like, when I went back, my uncle thought he was gonna get like swole from it. You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, he kept just drinking it. But now they don't even have that. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard. I'm pretty sure they have it, but you gotta like. I don't even know if that
go in the city or something.
Because I didn't really see anywhere.
Any supplementation?
No, I didn't see none of that nowhere.
No.
So
a lot of that stuff comes like from other countries,
Yeah.
like into the country.
Yeah. So you know.
Yeah, one thing you ask me about kind of often is when I talk about mushrooms and hallucinogenics.
Yeah.
You've reached out about that. I don't know if you've ever done.
I have
you?
twice.
How was it?
I don't think I got the best effect from it.
Okay.
The first time I did, I was kind of like, I think I was just seeing colors. Or whatnot,
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean? But I felt like the next couple of days, like shit was kind of clear.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I was more relaxed, but yeah. But that's why I smoke weed though, because it makes me more comfortable in myself.
Yeah. Isn't ayahuasca really popular in Africa?
I don't know if it's South
Or is that
America.
South America?
Yeah, South America. But that's what we were talking about the other day. I know somebody who comes into a store and he blew his brains out with ayahuasca, bro. He's just fucking so spiritual now. So like it changed completely who he was.
I believe that can happen.
Yeah, hell yeah. And ayahuasca is way different than mushrooms. And it lasts long, and it's like
a
DMT.
multi-day
Yeah.
DMT to the roof.
You got to do a
I
special
think they
diet.
have something like that in Africa, actually.
That's
I
what I
heard
was-
about people eating something like that or chewing or something like that.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, is there anything like that back home, or like any spiritual type of shit like that?
I don't know too much about that.
No,
like,
for sure.
Are there
but-
still like tribal religions?
Yeah. There's a lot of
Like
that. There's
shamans
a lot
and
of-
shit,
what's
anything like that? Like they would be like their
Like
priests.
the priest for the religion, the
Yeah,
tribal religion.
different cultures. It's tons of different.
Yeah.
It's tons of different. Like even like our neighbor, they're like a different religion and culture than us. You know what I mean? But yeah, there's tons of that stuff out there. I don't really know too much about that.
Right,
No,
You know
for
what I
sure.
mean? It's not really like what I like focus.
Oh,
on.
I can't imagine. Yeah,
You know what I
that's
mean? It's
definitely
like-
the last thing you probably
you
think
know
about
what
when
I
you go
mean?
there.
Yeah, and especially I was young, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I didn't really know that side of
Yeah.
things. But I do remember it was something called like bungee, and I do want to try when I go back. He used to
Hell
get
yeah.
people drunk.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I used to see people drink it. It's funny because it was just like this little market, and it was at my auntie's house. I went to go spend the summer there because my grandma came to the United States at that time. And like right across her house was like this little market where people used to go drinking. I didn't know what it was, and I could literally be like sleeping out my window and looking out, and like I could see them. So like they'll drink and then just be walking. I didn't like just walking back. You know, there's no Uber cars. They just walk back, just stumbling, and it was so funny.
That
Go
that
back
type of
and
stuff
try that.
fascinates me because, like with like mushrooms and those hallucinogenics, they believe there's a lot to be able to be traced back to like the start of that stuff, right? That like there's a whole hypothesis or theory called the stoned ape hypothesis, where they believe that like a group of primates that branched off essentially went to the wetlands instead of in the trees, and there were like grazing animals, and that's where a lot of hallucinogenic mushrooms are found, and they're found in like cow shit, literally. And they believe like if that was a food, they would eat them in abundance, and there's the possibility or probability that it exploded the brain in the sense of consciousness.
Yeah.
And and again, you could sound like a stoner and this, that, and the other, but there's like actual shit with that. There's
believe
actual,
that.
yeah, me too, bro.
believe
that.
I believe that so much, and because how else do we think of ourselves?
There's a lot of spiritual stuff out there.
Yes,
There's a lot of spiritual stuff out there.
Yeah.
A lot. So
And it's like hiding in the world.
Yeah.
You know, you got to find these in cow shit, right? Like, you had to be an animal to eat that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? No humans looking at that going,
Yeah.
sign me up, right? Like, so that type of stuff fascinates me. I think there's a lot of that. I would love to see that part, not to sound like a fucking junkie, but I would like to see the spiritual awakening part over there,
You know,
the
I might
enlightenment.
look into that. Yeah, I might look into that because I find that to be interesting. Because there's a lot.
Just make
of
sure you do it
spiritual-
with somebody.
yeah, because it's gotta
Absolutely.
be like natural plants. I'm assuming
for sure.
for sure.
Yeah.
Because that ayahuasca stuff, like the camps, they take it and then I'm pretty sure they start vomiting first.
Yeah, you have to purge.
Their body purges it, and then they have their experience.
Wow.
Do you know what it is essentially? It's a root and a bark.
Yeah.
And the bark stops this enzyme in your stomach because everything has DMT in it. but we have this enzyme in our stomach that disposes of it.
Right.
So it dumbs that down, and then this root, or vice versa, is the DMT. So when you drink it at the same time, it's stopping it so that you can absorb the DMT in it. And that's how you start the trip, essentially. That's why you have to purge it. And it's just crazy because it's been going on for thousands of years. They've been doing this. They've been connecting to the earth like this. And there's stuff now coming out that the Amazon used to be populated by millions of people, that it was purposely planted. The Amazon rainforest, the biggest fucking rainforest, was on purpose by humans. And they think it was destroyed the same way, or the population was destroyed the same way that Europeans went there and brought diseases. And the people there couldn't handle it and died. And they're finding cities in the Amazon, dude.
Wow.
And like, it's just crazy to me that's going on right now. And people are just...
Isn't there a hallucinogen that comes from frogs?
Yeah, there's a DMT. It comes from toads.
Yeah,
and you
toads.
have to like
you drink it in
and,
like a tea. I think.
I don't know if it's like that. I forget how they take it.
They do. They do these. They do that trip.
Yeah.
In Kauai.
Okay.
In Hawaii, but the island Kauai. And my friend did it. He went there with him and his wife.
I heard that one's the scariest.
Yeah,
because
he's done it 3 times.
There's different types of DMT.
Like he's gone there to do it 3 times.
That's crazy. Then I wonder if he does the toad one, because I heard
he has to do it with the shaman and everything.
Wow. I heard the toad one is wild, like blackout type shit. But like there's another one that comes from the bark or the root or whatever, that they can crystallize and extract it. And when you smoke that one, that's when you see like those shapes and shit, and like people, that's what they go. It's like dimethyltryptamine is the one. But there's like 5 oxy dimethyltryptamine, something like that. There's like different forms of it, and there's different ways of taking it. But we're talking about an earth medicine for thousands of years. They've just refined it in a different way. And we were talking about ergot last time, which is just a mold that they find on wheat that they synthesized LSD, which is acid.
Dang.
Right. And they believe if you just ate that you could get fucked up.
Yeah.
And
they thought that's why the Salem witch trials happened.
Yeah. Because they were just tripping.
People were eating molded bread and they started tripping, and they thought those people were possessed.
Well, penicillin was found on a moldy fruit.
Yeah.
I mean,
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's crazy, dude. Like, there's just all this shit lying around the earth, and it's like little Easter eggs that you got to find that like could solve everything, bro. It could solve everything.
That's amazing.
It is crazy. And there's a book, The Immortality Key, I believe it's called, or The Immortality Code, or Immortality Key. But that was what I was telling you about last time. There was a guy who researched this book for like 12 or 14 years, or not the book, but researched the information put in the book. And it led him to try to find this elixir that like Socrates and Plato and Marcus Aurelius used to drink, like stuff like that. And look how profound they were.
Yeah.
I mean, we could still use their...
I still read Marcus Aurelius' books.
He's the best, bro. He's the
not
best.
his books, but his
meditations.
Yeah, his
and stuff.
Meditations is one of the best books there is.
Right, I gotta read it. I'm bad at reading, but I gotta read it for sure.
That's Memento Mori.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah.
But
I heard about that.
Yeah, but they apparently drank this elixir, so he was trying to find what it was made out of. And what he thinks and what he was led to and what he found in old pottery was a combination of mead, which would be a honey fermented,
but beerish kind of stuff. Yeah.
Exactly. But they had back then they would store like mushrooms and stuff in mead, in honey, so it fermented together. Like wine and stuff was just like a base drink, and then the fermented grapes would be like the base, and then they would put additional stuff in it to make these elixirs and stuff. And one he believes that was this special drink was from mushrooms and mead and wine together. Wow. And like having done mushrooms, have you ever?
No.
So having done them, I can see this, as I'm sure you can see this, how back then, you're talking ancient Roman times, how profound they were in their thoughts about humans. You know, you can see, and I mean,
yeah, like you don't even see those kind of thoughts now.
No, not at all, dude. And I mean, I could get deeper, think about some other stuff, but
you got a flight to catch.
Seriously, genuinely.
I definitely want to hear more though.
No, yeah. Well, so for instance, there's a theory too, in this one. And this is how I know if you're cool or not. When people are like, "Ask me a question," right, on their story, like you keep it weird, keep it funny or whatever. I'll always say this one. There's a theory that Jesus was Buddhist.
Yeah, that he disappeared. That there's no record of his life from like 12 to like 32
when
31.
he came back on the scene.
And there's documentation of somebody
in
Tibet of this skin complexion and hair and beard of what a Middle Eastern person would look like, who spent time there.
And
I could believe it.
Pilgrimaged there.
Right.
Like he pilgrimaged there.
Yeah,
Makes
so
sense.
That's the theory that he spent time with Buddhist monks.
And
I'll believe that.
became this like very self-aware and loving and empathetic person because
when he came back was when all his documented like miracles happened and all of that kind of stuff happened.
I'm sorry, I forgot. No, you're totally cool, but yeah. So I like to say in those little questions like Jesus was a Buddhist. And see where they go with it, if they like it or not, or if they come back, because that one will push people's beliefs. Yeah. But
if you look at the history of Jesus as a person,
and that's what Christianity
goes a lot. There's a lot of Buddhism
now that I'm
things.
thinking about it,
there's a lot
in the sermons.
It makes sense.
No ego, humble.
Exactly, it makes sense.
No
it
possessions.
Makes sense.
Talking with
self-awareness, all of that stuff.
It
like
makes
the
sense.
thing I posted about he without sin can cast the first stone.
Yep.
Like, be self-aware of yourself. You're not. Nobody is perfect.
Doesn't that sound like Marcus Aurelius?
Yeah.
It's weird, right? There's a lot of stuff. There's even old Catholic paintings of Jesus with a halo, and the halo looks like the bottom of a mushroom. And there's letters from Paul to the Corinthians where they were eating the wrong Eucharist, and it was killing them. And like the wrong mushroom cap
could kill you.
And in the Catholic Church, we get a Eucharist, right? And the Eucharist is supposed to be
symbolic of Jesus's body.
Yes, it was like the Last Supper. He broke bread with people and said, "This is my flesh." Right? Well, I texted you this one time. What is more flesh of the earth
than mushrooms,
bro?
They grow from the earth.
Yes. So why is that? Why is that so far stretched? Why do I sound like such a fucking stoner?
I like that.
Right? But
you're not even high right now.
I know, that's a lie. But like
that's a good one.
Right, bro. It's so different in thought, and it's so
that's deep.
Mind expanding, right?
That's deep.
And
it's things that you have to think about. But my son is being baptized on Saturday. He's being baptized in the Catholic Church, right? And
that's like basically the initiation.
Yeah. So like he's joining the church for the first time.
Oh wow.
Like he's 3 months old. We should have did it last month.
Right.
But
it's a very young thing.
Yeah, it's a very young thing. You're essentially welcoming them into the Catholic Church. So I'm a big believer in that religion is good for the community aspect that it causes and how it can bring people together and how it can do all those things. Because I think I grew up Catholic, went to Catholic school, did all that. But I think it was the things that tested my faith throughout the years that made me a more open-minded person and a smarter person, because it can get very one-way thinking and like that. But I think it's very important to grow up with it all, so that you have those opportunities and you have that feeling of that community that the religion brings on. But then as you grow up and learn. Like he's going to learn all these things, and I'm going to say, hey, you should read the Dead Sea Scrolls. These are books that didn't make the Bible, because the Bible was created by the Council of Nicaea. Like, there's things that they purposely left out that you should read. because these are documented things that happen at the same exact time.
Right.
Read them. Doesn't mean you have to renounce your religion. I still consider myself Catholic. Right. I didn't renounce my religion, but I've expanded my thought process on the whole thing.
If anything, being Buddhist or trying to be Buddhist, I am Catholic. I am Christian. I do follow Christ. But I went to a Catholic school and have a very similar upbringing in that. But it's wild to me because I say to Easy all the time, if miracles are on the table, right? If you firmly believe, because Jesus performed these miracles, right? And they're spoken about in the book, and if you really believe, you believe that he walked on water, brought somebody back from the dead, and turned water into wine, and a bunch of fish and fed hundreds or thousands of people, right? But if those are on the table, and I'm not taking them away from anybody, but if those are on the table, a lot of other stuff is on the table, right? If you believe that a human has walked on water, there's not much that isn't on the table, right?
Yeah,
so he coming back from the dead, bringing somebody else back from the dead, there's a lot of stuff left on the table. But there's a belief that these councils of Nicaea were different sects of Christianity, right?
And
they had to agree,
cohesively come together and get an agreement out of it.
Absolutely.
The biggest issue that the big reason why the Bible was kind of almost rushed was because the Roman government was trying to decide whether we make everyone Christian or we make everyone a pagan.
Constantine made Rome Catholic or Christian on his deathbed and got baptized
on his deathbed.
On his deathbed. Yeah, that because they believed like when you get baptized, you wash away all your sin. So you're born with original sin, and then you get washed away from your sin, and now you live this Catholic life or this Christian life and live the life with God. And I too agree that that's important, right? I think that's important. I think it serves a purpose to society.
Yeah.
I just think it has become a tribe of its own, right? And a lot of people think of it in different religions as different tribes, right? And I come from a tribe essentially of Catholicism. You come from the tribe of Islam, right? So but you can look at Catholicism. There's Lutherans, there's Baptists, there's Sunni, there's Shia. There's different sects of all these religions, and it's like these little barriers that humans put up to keep their tribe right? And it bugs me in the sense that there was a possibility hundreds of years ago that this conversation would have never happened just because you were a different religion. Different religion is
wouldn't even sit at the same table.
Before skin color comes into it, which is the most petty thing there is. We could break it down by religion, which is even crazier of a belief, crazier of a tribe for some people. And it's dope that having an open mind is fucking dope.
Yeah, for sure.
It is. I don't see any disadvantage to having an open mind.
No,
not at all.
Yeah, being married to ideas is where the disadvantage comes in because you think so highly of this one idea that you're not willing to take in a different perspective.
No, I think if you're going to be married to an idea, you better know it's 100% like real. Otherwise, you should just be open to every angle.
Right, absolutely.
That's how you should live.
Yeah. I'm glad. I'm very, very happy that I live this life. Yeah. Because it's led me to meet people.
Dude, we learn new shit every day.
Every day. I can't wait for people to watch this one. Yeah. I really can't. I can't wait for people to listen and watch and hear this shit because this is going to be an eye-opening one for a lot of people, I think. I think a lot of people will benefit from this. And I've recently started to accept that again. Right.
That you're a social media influencer?
You are.
No. But anyway, but no, that there is some influence that can come from this. Right?
No,
this is an important little thing that I would never like tell somebody that this is my identity. Like, oh yeah, I co-host a podcast, right? And not that it's not big or anything, but there's so much more to me. Like the first time I met you, you're just G. Yeah. You didn't tell me I'm this dude from Africa that suffered this life and lived this. No. And because you don't have that identity on your shoulders as a shield, you were able to open up and come ask me a question, which is wild.
No, and it's awesome.
It's
so awesome.
Yeah, it's that butterfly effect.
Yeah.
Flap of a butterfly. When
You know, it's just that right there was gonna just let me know who you are. You know what I mean?
Right.
Whether if I like him or not, or if he's open minded or not, and you know, you received it very well. Like,
and I'm glad because you are a very fuck you kind of person.
Yeah,
if you don't have that time,
like, whatever. You know, what I mean?
Yeah.
If he's not, then
you were. Yep.
You know.
All right. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
That's another reason why we vibe.
Exactly.
You guys are the same way with that. Me, it
yeah.
takes me a little bit to say fuck that guy.
No, I could.
Actually, I don't know. The other day it was very like.
I could have one conversation with somebody and be like, I never want to talk to
Never
that
wanna
person.
You know what?
Absolutely.
I can say I've learned that from you.
It's great. Yeah,
I've
he's-
learned how to be like that because of you. Because I'm a very obviously that help forward kind of
Right.
thing I've always been having. I've learned to like have and be able to assess really fast and be like, no,
Yeah.
no,
This ain't it.
I ain't doing
You
it.
just gotta know.
Yeah.
This ain't it.
Yeah.
But
All right, G. Well, thank
I
you for coming
appreciate
on
you
today,
so
man.
much, bro.
Thank
Thank
you
you
so
so much for
Good
coming
talking
through.
to you.
Yep.
We got to catch up more. We got to.
Where can people find you on Insta?
GAOUSSOUJR. Yep.
At Insta or
Yep,
at
Instagram.
your-
That's Instagram.
We'll
is
put you in
only
the
place
tag
right
so
now.
people can
Yeah,
see your
yeah.
stuff.
Of course, man.
But thank you for everything, man.
Absolutely. Thanks
I
you guys for
appreciate
having
it.
me.
Yeah, this is great, G.
Yep.